Well, good evening everybody, if you can hear me. It's another evening for one of our club competitions. This is just a friendly this evening, so welcome to everybody. I can see, you'll see me look away from the camera, but oh no you won't, because you won't see me on the screen. I can see a few people saying they're about at the moment. Let me just have a look who we've got with us. We've got John, Jill, Bob, Graham H, Michael. Hello Michael, pleased to see you here this week. Alan, no questions tonight. Everyone on theme. Tony, evening Tony. Viv, welcome. Paul. It's amazing when you're sat here and trying to talk and read and everything all at the same time, and you're sort of looking and reading all the comments. Hello Caroline. Caroline Steele as well, so two Carolines. Sue's just popped up, so we're up to 16 at the moment. Don't forget that if you haven't subscribed, then please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. It just makes it a little bit stronger. And if you want to be notified when anything's coming up, just hit the bell so that it lets you know about future videos, etc. So oh, Caroline, I've just seen Caroline Steele's comment. Hello from Caroline and Dave. Hello there, both of you. Jim's popped up. Hello, Jim. Gail's popped up. Hi, Gail. Michael Hubbart's popped in. Evening. Graham, many thanks for the video on... Oh, right. Yes, that's all right. I've got the other part to do for you yet, Alan, on the black and white. I shall be working on that. So it's been a big enough learning curve just recently getting into doing all of this on YouTube. It took me about a week and a half every single day getting into it, and so it did restrict me time on getting back to you with that answer, but I will get back to you, as I will with other questions that have been asked from other people. Hi Ray, we're up to 27 now by the looks of it. So hi Neil, yeah, got you as the last person there. So yes, I'm here. Am I on the big telly tonight, Ray? Or am I just on a tablet? Ray did inform us recently that he was watching when we did the some of the original tests. He did say that I was on his big 85-inch telly. So not sure whether it is 85-inch like, but another couple of minutes just to see if anybody else pops in. Good evening Mark, thanks you can join us. We've got a good crowd this evening. It's showing on my laptop here at the side of me that we're up to 28. So I've just seen Jill's comment there, and I'm just wondering what the tablets are for, but I'll not ask, and don't tell me Ray, don't tell me Jill. I just saw Ray's pop up there. I'm on the looks like Ray's telling me I'm on the little tablet rather than the big telly. So yeah, we've just got another minute to go. We'll just give it another minute and then we'll be off. So whilst people are just waiting, what we're going to do this evening is we're going to run through the held back images from the potty competition that was sent off to Diane Seddon, so that we can see the held back images. For those of you who've not been on the website yet and had a look, it won't take all that long. We'll just show you those that was held back. I've not got any comments in front of me or anything like that, so it will be just the images so that we can have a look at them. Right, I'm going to just go down. This screen will disappear and we will see the images come up from the colour competition. We had, don't forget, this was supposed to be a print competition, and the with the virus we changed it into a digital so that we could still continue the potty competitions. All of those scores Jill is keeping, and we will be adding those up, and they'll all come to the end of the year. So we'll just run through these. This one I'm going to have to just drop it down. This is called Blue Window. I don't know any of the hi Dane, just see you pop up there, so welcome. So yes, the images are just popped through just to show you what they are. Don't read the sign. So as I say, I don't know whose these are, but just have a look at them just to see these are the ones that were held back. I must admit, if you can see it on the right of your screen here, I've made my pointer bigger, ready for later on, so that you'll be able to see when I'm talking about the images, and you'll be able to follow what I'm referring to. This next one is DIY project. So that's the next one. This one is door to door. As I say, for those who just joined in the last minute or so, these are the images from the stairs, windows, steps and doors. These are the held backs. So in no particular order. External window at Bolsover Castle. This one is Holocaust Memorial. Got to keep going up to the top just to see the titles. I've got Stripes. Lincoln Cornhill. Locked. Mirrored windows. Lot of them, isn't there? Misty window. Ah, there's the best image. I must admit that's got to be the best image that we're showing you tonight. Oh, possibly mine. Old door detail. That was Lincoln Cathedral. Old farmhouse window. Round and down. Something has caught their eye. The window in decline. 3. Top security. Windows on his world. Windows Spanish village. Yarborough Lock. That's the last one. So I'm just going to whistle back to the winner, and the winner for all of you who haven't seen it yet is this image by Sam Ford, and that was the winner of the colour competition. So you'll just see a little bit of my screen as things pop up and I choose the next category. These are the black and whites: door and window, old cottage, Robin Hood's Bay. Graffiti laden doors. Herbie goes to the scrapyard. How much is that body in the window? Knocking on heaven's door. Left. Light bulb staircase. Long live Bowie. Moorish door. No more escapees. Office window. Open and shuttered window. Take the steps down to the light. The old prison doors. Through office window at night. What lies ahead, RAF Bimbrook. That was the last one. So I'll just shoot back to the winner in this black and white category. Whoops, just gone past it. And this one was the winner, the light bulb staircase, which was once again Sam Ford. So well done to Sam on both categories, the colour and the black and white. I've not got the other scores at the moment, but if any of you would like to see them, go along to the members area of the website, have a look at the competition section, and you'll find them all there in separate folders, and these that were held back as well. We just thought we'd show you those so that you know what images were held back by the judge. And as I say, the judge for those people who arrived late was Diane Seddon. We sent her the images electronically and she gave critique back, and for those who haven't looked, once again, that critique is in the folder in the competition section for the colour and the black and white. So just seen Doreen's just joined us. Welcome Doreen. I'll just get rid of these. I'm just going to change something on here so that you can see. Yeah, do that. Bring up today's pictures. Right, what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at these pictures. I'm going to judge them, give them a score out of 20. These scores don't go towards any of the potty competitions, but there will be 3 little prizes when we get back to the club meetings for those members who win this evening. So hopefully, as we always say, the images are yours, and as long as you like them, that's all that matters. Every judge would be different, and every judge would have different comments on the images. So, you know, don't be disheartened with any of the scores. Just battle on and you'll get there, like a lot of the members have done in the past. So off we go. Right, the first image is a wonderful self-isolation spot, and this is image number 1. So this evening there won't be any names mentioned. We will just go by titles and the number of the image as sent to you by Jill. Now I have a list, but my list is just a very simple list with a title and that number, that image number. So that's all I've got. So right, off we go. Nice image, this one. The title fits well with the image itself. We've got some nice tones. We've not got anything dark in it. There's no dark spots or bright spots on this center area here where the sun is falling. It does still have very good detail in it, and in the sides and the mountainside where it's darker, we've got still got good detail in it. On this front edge nearest to the lower part of the image and nearest to us as we're looking at the image, it does look a little bit flat. I think with a little bit of extra clarity, maybe you could have just have lifted a little bit more detail out of there. So you know, it does it's a very nice image in itself, but as I say, just a little bit more lift in this area where it's dull would have just have made it a punchier picture. It's one which is a superb image, and we'd all like to be isolating there at the moment. Look at those walks up there, and we could go up this way, we could go anywhere we like, but I'm not too sure if you're in that particular location you would need to stay in the house. You could go for a walk and really enjoy yourself. This particular image, 15. By the way, what we're going to do is I've just seen a message as well that Jan's watching up there in the up there in Scotland, so welcome, Jan. It's good to see you, or well, not see you, but see that you're with us again. So right, what I was saying was the procedure for this evening will run through till 5 to 8, and then we'll have a 15-minute break for those who would like to go and clap, etc. When you come back, you will see another icon ready waiting for you to click on saying part 2. So I shall produce that during the break. I've asked Di if she can clap twice as hard for me, so I'm going to be here getting ready for the second half and having a quick slurp. So that's water, by the way, not anything else. So right, on to the second image, and the second image is abandoned in cemetery shed, and this is number 2. So we've got a nice image here. The image is in, well, it looks like it's in, as it says, in the old shed where it's been, everything's just left where it's been put. Not quite sure how old that old fire extinguisher is there. It's an old fire extinguisher, and it certainly looks like it's been there a while. The actual image itself, we've got a good few bits and bobs in it. We've got these old, what look like plastic flowers here, which have been there a long time. We've got the blown in leaves and all the little bits and bobs, an old drinking vessel or something there, and then we've got this brighter area in the back here with the bag and the I don't know whether that's actually plastic ivy or whether it's some ivy that's been put in there just to brighten it up, but certainly an image that makes you look around for all of those different things. It actually is from an area where I take people when I go up to the Scottish Highlands. Now, although I could possibly think of one of 3 peoples who pictures it is, I've no idea who it actually is. So but it's a very nice image. I'm going to keep that one until a bit later. Just going to mark these down myself so that I know what I've held back as well, so there will be a little bit of a delay there. Right, on to the next image, which is Almaciaga View Tenerife. And I hope whoever's image that is, I hope I got it somewhere near right. I'm not particularly good with the foreign titles, so sorry if it's wrong. Right, we've got this nice image here. The actual first thing that you always look for as a judge when there's water involved is whether this horizon looks straight. In this case, yes it does. No problem there. We've then got the mountains running up here, and with these rocks formations in the foreground. We've even got some wildlife in the front here as well, but I had a look at them earlier and I must admit I can't say what they are, so I've no idea. The actual mountains themselves, they're a little bit strange because the way the light's falling on them, we've got this blue hazy area on the hillside here, but then we've got two patches which are just at a different angle on here, on this left hand side here, and this bit in the centre, which is just stands out from the rest for some reason. I'm not too sure exactly what's creating that, but just does look a little bit different. I like the way that we've got the water running, and we run through here on these, between these stony areas, and then we've got area to go in the water around the back of the building. So I like that. That works really well. The image itself, I'm looking for, and I appreciate that the background, the mountains are the focal point of the image, but I really want some part of it to actually settle on. So, you know, it's just a little bit wanting of something, just a little bit to make it stand out a little bit more. Sky, yeah, no problem with the sky. We've got some cloud up there, we've got a bit of blue, etc. That all works well. The colour of the sea is nice, so we've got good colours in there. Maybe a little bit of contrast into the sky area would have brought a little bit more detail out in the cloud and just made them look a little bit more well, menacing, I suppose I could say. So, but a very nice image, not one I'm going to hold back. 14. Right, we're on to the next one. Beautiful bluebells, and this is number 4. So beautiful bluebells, number 4. Yeah, once again we've got good reproduction of the colours in the bluebells. There is one thing with the bluebells that sometimes you do get to a point where the blue just doesn't register correctly. But I think the colour in here, for being underneath the trees, you've got them very well. We've got these two trees that are the heavier trees in here, and we can look through the centre and go into the background. The background's possibly a little bit brighter than the centre area and the foreground area here, but nevertheless you've managed to hold it back without it blowing out. We've got once again a little bit like the mountain range there that we've just had. We've not got a specific area to settle our eye on, but it is the bluebells that the author wants us to look at, and that's what we're being drawn to. There's good detail from the front here. We're losing it towards the back end a little bit, but in the leaves here we do see a little bit of detail, so very, very difficult with a plant so small to try and keep everything in focus. So and I do like the addition of these little bits of pink in the foreground here. It does hold it together. So a nice image, but another one that I'm going to let go. 14. On to the next image. The next image is number 5, and it's best friends. Yep, they look like they go out riding weekends, evening nights, Wednesday night on the bike nights. So it does give a good indication of them. The one motorbike here, I'm really pleased that you managed to keep this in. This, I think, does actually finish the picture off quite nicely. It does sort of show you what they're about. It's not just some people dressed in leathers. So I am tempted to look through to the car and this one mirror here, which just catch your eye. Maybe we can see the bike at the bottom here, but it's just that shiny bit that could have been toned down a little bit. The image is a good representation of this 4 young chaps here, and you've caught them very well, all with a smile on the face, and I like the camaraderie of them, you know, the actual got their arms together, they're all leaning together, etc, etc. I'm just going to zoom in on this one a minute. It's just coming across, although this bike is as sharp as a pin, this gentleman's face here is a little bit soft. So if you just look again, you can see that his forehead and his face is just a little bit soft. So I think I would have liked you to have put the 4 of them between the 2 bikes, the one on the right here and the one on the left. I think that would have worked a bit better, and it would have then you would have had a bike at the side of this gent which would have filled it in nicely. So if you do anything like this again, you know, just consider trying to get them to take a step or 2 back and get that second bike in. That would have been a bit nicer. But as I say, just because of a little bit of softness and the I would have liked them moved back in between the bikes. 14. Right, the next one is number 6, and it's common reed bunting. Lovely picture, it really is. I appreciate, and possibly people are saying, well, you're into the birds, but this is quite an exceptional photograph in as much as it's the background, the gentle flowers, all soft and out of focus and not too much of them. It just fills in the side. You've nicely placed the bird to the right hand side of centre so that we're looking into a little bit more space than there is behind it. Very, very pleasing image, and I will be keeping that one back to see again. Right, let me just mark that one. Number 7, dawn on the river bank. So yep, dawn on the riverbank. You can see the mist and all that goes with the picture, even the mist across the water. Smoke on the no, I can't sing. The smoke on the water, I mean the mist on the water here, and then we've got the swan with its curved neck just looking into the water here. I'm just wondering whether our focal point is this swan, and I'm just wondering whether you need this bright area up here. You know, possibly if you chopped it off just at the bank so that this brighter area with these clumps of bright area up there just wouldn't have caught our eye then. Oh dear, I've just had a screen that's gone blank. So once I get this screen back from wherever it's gone, I shall be back with you. Let me just reduce that and start again. See why things have gone as they have. Here we go. We're back on the screen. We can always get little technical hitches. Right, where was I? Yes, just crop it across the bank top there. That would draw us into the swan. Now we're getting a little bit of blue introduced onto the back of the swan, and usually blue tends to indicate a bit of underexposure. So because it's in the shadow, maybe that's why that's happened. So possibly consider making it a little bit brighter and just adjusting your exposure a little bit higher to get that white of the swan white. That would have also have given you a little bit more detail into these darker areas on the riverbank. I think as well this area in this bottom right hand corner could done with a little bit of toning down. It's just fighting against the swan to be the brightest point. So just another time, just think about the bright spots. I'm not bothered about these across on the left hand side and this here. It's just this mass of white on here. Sorry, not white, the light colour on here. So just gotta do like your positioning of the swan. You know, it's just in the right position. Once again, looking into space. We've got more space in front of it than behind it, so that works really well. Another one I'm going to let go, but you've done very well to get it under this bank when it looks like you're shooting into the sun, so well done on that. 14. Right, the next one is number 8, eruption of colour. So we've got an eruption of colour here with this yellow coming right out of this soft white. The author's focused on the yellow in the centre, and that's taken all of these outer petals into a soft colour. Two little things with the image. One is the dark area up here. Now, to save you actually doing anything trying to get rid of that, what I would have done is just to have put a bit of a vignette by toning that corner down on the left hand corner to match it. That would have made a balance quite nicely then on either side. Your background is very nice, the greens. We can see a little bit of colour noise in there, but with it being a close-up shot, we're going to get that anyway. Softness on the edge of the leaves I'm not bothered about, but I would have got rid of that little spot there. Your eye, because it's in this soft green in the background, your eye is just drawn to that one spot. So do look round your images and just make sure that you're spotting out all the problems, etc. Very nice image. It's very close to being held back. I will hold it back. Right, your next image is number 9, Fiddler's Elbow. This is in actual fact another place where I take people up in Scotland to, it's actually called, if you want the, and I appreciate the author can call it what the hell they like, but it is actually bow fiddle. So this is a rock, and you're well down close to the water, but there's really high steep walk to get down there, to get to this position. I like the position where you stood shooting up this side. We've got this rock here. I might have just lightened this rock on the right hand side up a little bit, just to give us a little bit of detail in there. It looks like it's going a little bit dark on there, and possibly just brightened it up just a tad on these stones here. Not too bothered about these in the foreground here. They're not too bad. You know, you've got detail in them. The process that you've used for making them, or making the image as it is, looks good. It's sort of an artistic impression. You know, we've got this foreground which is a little different than you would imagine the stones to be. we've got the moving water and the lovely blues and going into greys, and we can see the movement of the water all around here as it's been coming in. So it would have been a slightly longer exposure, not to I'm not bothered to the extent of that exposure, but nevertheless it has smoothed out the waves. Got a couple of little tiny marks here on the image, so that's that just shows up, maybe a little bit of dust from the sensor, but that's a very nice image. I'm going to keep that one for a minute as well. I'm not too sure what will happen at the end, can't sort of say whether they'll get right up there, but I do like this one as well. Right, on to the next image, which is number 10, fruity with a hint of rust. I suppose you could say it's a what do they call it? And everybody would be shouting at me at the moment when I'm going to say what I'm going to say. It's got a bit of age to it, you know, a wine that's been kept for a while. So, but yeah, I think it's different that you've gone for the close approach and you've put the sign as really the main point in the picture. It does show us that what it is and what the fruit is. Looks like either a winter time or a springtime, somewhere where the wine's going to be produced later on in the year. We've not got a tremendous amount to look at as in a subject matter within the image, other than the rows of grapes that are going to make the Chardonnay. But we've got the couple of things to jump to, and that's the Land Rover here and the building. Now, because the sky is so bland, I think you could have taken that off somewhere a little bit lower. There's nothing up there, there's no cloud detail, so you could have kept that sky down. As an interesting picture, we've got, it tells a story, and that's what a picture's supposed to tell. So it's telling a story. We've got the sign and all the grapes, etc. So we can get that story from it. Not one that I'm going to keep back, and I'll give that one 15. Right, moving on to the next one, which is number 10. No, it's not. It's number 11. Number 11 is Gone Fishing. Now, this particular image, when I saw it, I've had a couple of looks at these images, and it's an image that I want to say I know where it is, but I can't say that I definitely know where it is. If it isn't where I think it is, and that's one of the places up in Scotland that I go to, then it's certainly very, very much like it, because we go to a reserve, and I'm thinking it might not be, thinking about it, because I don't think I've ever taken anybody from the club here. But at this particular place, there's on this left hand side there is a hide, and everything always seems to be that far off. So and I can't remember these reeds, but anyway, on with the picture. We've got a lovely mist coming across top of these trees as well, and that just makes a softness in the background up into the mountains, and then we've got the nice blue sky up here. The reeds just hold the bottom in nicely, and then we've just got this gent on his boat on the left hand side here. I can't really pick something that I would say on this image that I would want doing specifically to make it any better. If I'm going to have one little tiny moan, and I always have to, I would have got rid of this element on the right hand side that sticks up. The rest of them are all a bit up and down anyway, but this particular one on the right here, I would have got rid of that. Of the landscape images, I like this one, so I'm just going to keep that one as well. Right, the next one is number 12 and it's in flight. I'm just going to start moving on a little bit quicker because I'm getting a little bit behind. So, right, this one's a very nice image of these three swans flying and well caught. And we've got separation between the three swans. I've got two problems with this particular image. It should have been rotated to get that waterline level. That even if the swans were just heading uphill a little bit more, it wouldn't have mattered. We really do need the water line to be level, so that's the first thing. And the second one, it looks like you've removed a telegraph pole from here somewhere, because we've still got the lines down from the swan down either way. So I'm sure that because the angle of the wires don't meet, I'm sure there must have been a post there. So do be careful if you remove things. Do remember to look and remove the rest of it. Little bit grainy, a little bit noisy. We can see a lot of noise in the birds. Very nice try. Excellent picture in itself. I am going to let it go because of these two bits I've just mentioned, but 16. Right, number 13, iron bar. Yep, we can see why it's been called that. Are we on number 13? Yep, number 13. It's all right. I just looked down at the wrong line. The tin of the building and the bar sign, so it all works well. Possibly a couple of things for me. I maybe would have liked to have seen this sign in with the picture. This bit of the corrugation down this side is not necessary, so possibly on this occasion you could have taken a portrait style image and managed to get this sign in. A little bit of darkness in this area and in the gentleman himself, so a little bit of brightening in there just to bring him up, but otherwise well caught, and the exposure from inside to outside has been handled fairly well. As I say, we've got a couple of dark areas, but been handled fairly well, so a very good effort. 15. Number 14, Lady at Wortley Forge. Yeah, nice image. Possibly at a reenactment. So I just saw the comments moving. The possibly taken at one of these reenactment days, or a model that's been hired for the shoot, but nevertheless it doesn't matter. We've got nice image, nice pose, just a fairly relaxed pose. I'm just wondering whether it's not a little bit tight at the bottom here and a little bit tight at the top here. It is just a tad for me. I would have liked to seen a little bit of space around the top and the bottom. Otherwise the actual lighting's quite good. We've got it coming across from the left here, which works quite well, and we've got detail all around the picture, even into the dark areas of the bottom here and towards the back. So good image. I am just a little bit concerned about the top and the bottom, so I am going to let that one go, but 16. Right, number 15 is long-tailed tit. So long-tailed tit, lovely picture of this long-tailed tit, one of my favourites. Doesn't quite beat the crested tit, but certainly a very nice bird. I think it's a very busy picture though. I appreciate this is where the bird was sat. You couldn't get anywhere else. It was what you could get at the time, so you know that's what we have to have. We have to have it, but then there is a possibility that you could have done a little bit more just to bring it into the forefront a little bit more. Let's just make this bird a little bit bigger. The author has taken enough detail in there to crop this image to that. You know, that makes for a much better picture than the one that's been presented to us this evening, looking like that. So if you'd zoomed in on it and you'd put it into that sort of a position, maybe you didn't even have to go to that much. Just back it off a tad, and we've got this nice greenery here just in front of the bird. Granted, we don't show the long tail of the long-tailed tit, but you know, hey ho, this is wildlife for us. You know, we can't get every detail, but I just think you should have cropped the image. So that would have got rid of some of these white spots and just taken our eye away from all of these branches. So a very, very nice image, but just think about cropping them a little bit and putting the bird, because it's looking this way, put a little bit more room in front of it than behind it. So that image, lovely detail on that bird, so I've got to give it 16. Right, on to the next one, which is 16, and that's Look at Me. Yep, somebody's been lucky enough to get themselves sat into the one of the red arrows. Either that or the red arrows are getting new recruits. I'm not sure what. The authors managed to keep a nice tight frame on this one, and we've got the detail in there. There's nothing that we can do to say you should have done this, you should have done that. We've just got a fun picture of this lady sat in there, and the detail of the plane. We can see everything from all of the detail in the back, the chair, everywhere, and it's all good detail. Not quite meeting the not quality is not the word. It's not quite coming up to the other images. That's all I can say. I can't think of the word for it, but a very nice image, well captured, and a picture that I'm sure that you'll keep, one of those that you'll keep for life. 15. Right, number 17, Muck Wagon's End. So Muck Wagon's End, it's a nice image. It does look, to me, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but it looks a little bit infraredish. We've got this foliage here that's just changing a little bit here. I would have liked the author to have possibly, because this is the open end of the wagon to the left here, I would have liked not to have seen a lot here, possibly to have taken that off at the back end there. But for a black and white image, I think it's quite a good image. Now, if it is a infrared image, then this is about right. If it's a black and white image and the grass has just gone a little bit overexposed from light on it, then I would have liked to have seen a little bit more contrast, which would have brought out detail in this trailer. I do like the image though, and I'm going to keep it. Right, number 18, Multicoloured Door. This looks like the owner has been to B&Q, got a little pot of everything and said, what colour should we have it, kids? It's got a bit of everything there. We've got the reds, yellows, blues, different coloured toned blues, etc. This bucket in this corner, or this plant pot, just catches my eye. I think I would have cloned a little bit of brickwork across there. The post I'm not too bothered about. I like the way you've incorporated the number, and possibly if you could have got this brickwork, the red brickwork around the outside, if you could have got the top of the piece, the brickwork at the top there, that would have been a little bit nicer. The size, because of the angle you've taken the pictures, it's just a bit wider at the top than the bottom. So you know, do think about that and just try and get a little bit square onto it if you can. Very nice image, great detail though. 15. Number 19 is Narcissus. Yep, very nice image, very well caught. I like the black background that you've got to it. That really makes it stand out. Now, the thing that people would say, when I say people, judges would say, some would say, well, we read from left to right. We've got nothing here. So if you'd flipped the image and you'd had this stem coming from the left hand side with this main part of the narcissi coming across here, then it may have just have read a little bit better in our minds, excuse me. So maybe flip it and see what it looks like if you ever put it into another competition. As we all know, this is a fun competition, so it doesn't matter. Two little picky points. These two little bits here, I would have got rid of those, so that because your background is such a clear black background, get rid of those so that my eye doesn't catch it. Very nice image. I'm just going to hold that one back. Right, on to number 20, near Temple Brewer. Yeah, very, very nice spring-like picture. We've got the field here with its ready for planting. We've got this nice walkway up here, and then this great tree in the middle here. Go back in another 2 months' time, and it's going to be a different picture all over again. So a lovely image in itself. I'm going to keep that one to compare it with the other image. By the way, I'm not too bothered about on this instance this big lump in the corner here, the old trunk. Maybe you could have taken that off just to stop me noticing it, but I do like that image, so I'm going to keep it. Right, number 21, nest building. Yeah, nice image. It does what it says on the can. We can see they're on the nest. They've got the wood that they're passing, the bits of stick that they're passing to each other to make the nest of, and then we've got this one curious one up the top looking on and seeing what they're going to do, which does in actual fact fill in the top of the image. One little thing, this white blob up here, if you put it into a competition, get rid of that white blob up there. Otherwise, you've got just enough room around this wing here, so that's good. And maybe if you wanted, you could take a little slither off this side, but I'm not too bothered about that. It's good as it is. Quite a noisy image. We've got lots and lots of noise in there. If you could do a little bit of noise reduction on it, that would be better. But I do like the image. No, we'll keep it. I've lost my pen. Right, number 22. Not looking where they are going. Nope, they're certainly not, are they? You've got them a little bit tight in the frame. Let me just get rid of that. We've got them a little bit tight in the frame, even though there's people in the background, and possibly that's why you've cropped it into this format. I wouldn't be too bothered about the people in the background. You know, it is one of those things. It's a procession of some sort, or these three are out, and you've got people in the background. So hey ho, you know, lovely colours, nicely exposed. I just wonder about. I know they're not looking, and you've got your title right with what it is, but I'm just thinking it would have been nice with a little bit of interaction with the camera to see them looking at the camera or all looking the same way. So I am going to let that one go. 14. Yep, very nice image here. Number 23. Number 23 is it's possibly it says peony. It could be a peony grandiflora orchid pink form. Now, I'm not into names, as you all know, and I'm not good at pronouncing things, but there's not a lot I can say about that one. That one's a good one. I really do like that. That is nice. I just wonder whether you should have had a little bit off the back of it here so that it leaves the nice space here. We have got one or two things where you look like you've had a go at cleaning it up. There's a patch here that looks like it's been cleaned up. You've got a bit of blue there, There's a bit of a green stem there, a bit of yellow there, and some more leaves or something here. Just a little bit more care with your tidying up, but a brilliant image. I'm going to keep that one. Number 24, Poppy. Number 24, Poppy. Very nice image. I like the way you've taken it. It's good lighting. We've got a bit of a vignette all the way round. Darker area. Now that might have just have fell like that, or you could have done it, but whatever. It works well. Brings your eye into here. Lovely clear detail. So that really works well. This bit of red up top right hand corner would have been nice for you to have got rid of that. So that really should have gone. So that does just let it down a little bit because my eye's drawn to it. Other than that, very nice image, very sharp. Bit of a fussy background, so I am going to let that one go. 16. Praying for a Pringle, number 25. Yep, we've got this fairly creamish toned image, and then we've got this red Pringles pack that somebody has left there, and there he is praying for his Pringle. If you can do a little bit of adjustment to get these things stood up a little bit better, we've got converging verticals here, it's laid back. It would have been nice if you'd put a bit more room around the image and then straightened it up. So nevertheless, good image. If you'd taken this image as a record shot of this gent here, whoever he may be, then of course we would have been saying you should have cloned that out, but you've just kicked that one because you've included it in the title. So nice, well done. As an image, works well. Not one I'm going to keep back. 15. And we final one before we go for a break, just another couple of minutes. Number 26, Tulips. I'm ready for a drink of water. We've got an image here now. When you send your images in for competitions, don't forget to make sure that they're at the size that's suggested, which is between 1 to 2 megabytes. This is only 447 KB, so do make sure you get your images large enough. You are losing detail in the image with it being a small one. Love the reds against the blue. Love the green of the stems here, of the leaves here, and then the stems, etc. So very nice image. I'm not going to hold it back. It is a nice image, but we've just got a little bit of white fringing on the edges of the petals as well. So just be careful with that. And that once again is because it's a small resolution image. So 15. Right, we're going to stop at the little robin here, and we're going to have a break for 15 minutes. Don't forget, when you come back, look for the new part 2 of this competition and click on that, and we'll see all of you in the second half. My count is showing 32, so thank you so much for joining me in the first part. Come back, have a look at the second half, look at the images, and be ready for being a winner. See you shortly.